Alex Jones was one of the original conspiracy theorists and hosts of The Alex Jones Show, which goes out all across America. He joins us now. Alex, thanks for joining us. There's a big protest in the UK tomorrow. What is the resistance like in America at the moment?
Well, it's not been as big as it's been led by your father and other great patriots in the UK, or what we've seen in Germany or Australia, but it's really starting to get bigger. We've had around 60,000 people march just a few days ago in New York, and tens of thousands marching in different cities around the United States.
Have you seen kind of a bit more of a pushback from people that maybe accepted it? Because we've seen this here, Alex, where people, they've gone out, they've got 2 doses, but they've drawn the line at their kids. They're like, I'll have it, fine, whatever, but we're not going near the kids. Have you seen people that maybe were kind of pro-COVID vax who are actually kind of rolling back on that now?
Well, that's exactly what we're seeing. A lot of adults have an attitude of, hey, we're going to take it, we're in this together, we want to get the economy turned back on. And when they saw that they didn't want to turn the economy back on worldwide, and we saw France, and we saw places like Spain and Germany and Australia, and we saw regulators in the UK try to keep the lockdowns going and say, oh, now you need to take a 3rd, 4th. They're now promoting a 5th shot in Israel. They're now promoting a 4th shot in Australia and here in the US. And then when they said, we're coming after under 16s, we're coming after 5 and up, people said this is too far, and it really has triggered a massive uptick in resistance, which is good.
Am I right in thinking that South West Airlines are still getting thousands of planes grounded at the moment?
This is internal, but it's coming out this week. Around 20% of the flights are grounded, not just with Southwest. They're the strongest group saying no. We now know that about 75% of FedEx packages get delivered because we use FedEx some. It's crippled some of our operations in shipping. We have to basically move away from FedEx to USPS and UPS right now because FedEx is collapsing. A lot of the other big shipping systems are collapsing. I mean, you see up to half the police walking off in places like Chicago and New York and other areas. So yes, they're saying no, and it's really bringing things to a standstill. And the corporate media is not giving that any attention. They're not showing the power of the people. That your father was the first a year and a half ago to those huge speeches and on air saying, learn to say no, the power of no, non-compliance, non-compliance, non-compliance. And so that's exploding across the world. And people realize, okay, this isn't a compromise where I give something up and then things go back to normal. It's give up something and then lose more freedom. Give up something more, lose more freedom.
How do you see it ending? I mean, you're an optimistic guy. I think you're like me in the sense of like, we're going to win this, people can win this. But how do you see it being, this winter, which a lot of people are thinking is going to be a pretty dark period for everyone?
Well, yes, it's always darkest before the dawn. And when you give in to bullying, it only gets worse. When you fight back, it's the only time it ends. And so everybody looks at this psychotic evil. They look at the sociopathic behavior of Big Pharma and the media and Hollywood all ganged up on the free humans of Earth. And we say they must win because they're doing it, that they must be the authority. They must have the moral high ground because, at a subconscious level, because they're executing something so insane. But this is a weakness of the New World Order, weakness of globalists, weakness of their plans all over the world with their programs being in so much trouble the last decade, as your father predicted 20 years ago on my show. He said by 2016, he thought that there would be a global chain reaction awakening. The battle would become incredibly intense around 2020, 2021. Then we'll probably win. If we're going to win, that's up to us around 2026, 2027. I mean, there'll still be some big fights after that. But everything we see happening now is an attempt to stop the global awakening. Everything happening now is the attempt to stop this spiritual awakening, this opening of our minds and hearts and souls to the higher dimensions and to the higher orders that physics and quantum mechanics proves. And the system knows that we are electrochemical bodies with an energy field and an energy, a multidimensional creature that is just experiencing this reality in the 3rd dimension through these bodies.